What's going on, boys and girls of YouTube? So on stream the other day, I was having a conversation with everybody, and we were talking about the gods that need reworks. The Smite gods, in my eyes, that need changes to bring them back out, to make them fresh, whether their abilities suck, they're not unique, they're boring, the gods don't get played, whatever it may be. That's what we were talking about. So I decided to make a video on it because I've never actually sat down and kind of thought about it. Thought about the things that needed to be changed, the gods that needed to be changed. And honestly, if you really look at it, there aren't that many bad gods in Smite. There really are not that many bad gods in Smite. I'd say the ones that are fairly bad or just aren't unique are these 5 gods. It's pretty easy to narrow it down to 5 for me. Overall, I'm sure you guys are going to have different ones. So if that's the case, tell me. Let me know what you guys think. Your reasoning why whatever god should be reworked, should be changed. Whether it's a full rework, one ability rework. That's the thing. These aren't just full god reworks always. Sometimes I think one ability needs to be changed and that can make the whole god better. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about that. But before we do, please hit the subscribe button. It's right down there somewhere. Just fucking find it and click it if you're not already subscribed. Because I want you to. And because you're going to come back tomorrow and you're going to come back later. So why not? Just do it. Get into it. So our first god is actually a guardian. Oddly enough, I couldn't find any hunters that, I'll tell you that right now straight up, I couldn't find any hunters that I truly believe needed to be reworked. If you look over them and find one, maybe you're just thinking different than me. But my number 1 is going to be Xing 10. Xing motherfucking 10. All right. So Xing 10, I've talked about this. I've talked about this on stream. I think I've tweeted about it. You've got a god that essentially, when compared to all the other guardians, doesn't do anything unique at all, while also doing very similar things to other gods in a worse way, in a slower way, doing less damage while doing it. And for me, that really just stems around the ult. Now they've tweaked the 1, so the dot ticks on creeps and stuff like that. The clear is a little bit better. Awesome. We already know he's safe. We know his 3 gives him protections, which is dope. He's got a double leap, so he's actually fairly mobile. He does have a annoying, decent CC. He's got the slam, which is a knock up into the root, which is awesome. Great. Fantastic. But it's not unique in a sense that it's just a knock up. Granted, you are throwing them up, but think Ganesh. Ganesh stuns, runs into them, and then throws them up. And it's just as annoying, but does more damage. A lot more damage while doing so, while doing a full combo. As we said, the 3's actually, I kind of like it. Its damage is a little low. It would be cooler if it was higher. Granted, that is like 400 damage if you hit both of the leaps on somebody. Now, for me, the reason Xing 10 100% needs a rework is the ultimate. I would be fine with a rework on just this ability and not necessarily a rework on the entire god. Granted, I don't even know what the passive is. You grant stacks of smoldering rage each time he hits an enemy. He gains HP 5. That could probably be reworked and make him a lot more relevant. Give him fucking protections, give him percentage damage so he can be more annoying. Like, considering the way he works, more percentage damage would be dope. But anyway, the ultimate. The ultimate is essentially the exact same as Cerberus is. You scoop some people up, and you throw them where you want to throw them, right? You can unlimited people you're scooping up from the other team, and you're doing it. The difference is, you're doing no fucking damage. For one, like, that's annoying. With a god that, in my eyes, doesn't have enough CC in his kit to not do more damage. You got Cerberus, who slows, treads protections, has the leap, has a stun, has high damage on both of those 2 abilities that do damage, and then has the same ult that's instant. Now you have Cerberus's ult, like we talk about time, that takes a fucking shit ton of time to wind up, and then maybe you pick him up. Why would they put in... First of all, they nerfed Xing 10's ult into the ground multiple times. I think it's been hit 3 times. And then they put in Cerberus that does the same thing, but a million times better, while also having an overall better kit for both support and solo. Xing 10 overall in the support role is shit. At one point when he was pretty strong, when his stuff was overtuned, he could be a support. He could do decent damage. He could be more annoying. His ultimate was actually useful. Now, you blink in and you ult, and people have fucking 10 seconds to run the other direction, and LOL, I'm out of here. Like, the only time a Xing 10 hits an ult is when somebody's already CC'd, or they don't have their mobility up, And they have to not have beads / Magi's Blessing. It's not realistic to pick a Xing 10 over any of these other gods, especially the ones that are comparable in what they bring to a team, which in my eyes is a Cerberus with the big team fight ult, because Xing 10's kind of in there annoying and being super aggressive. You got Terra, which has a way better team fight ult. Ganesh, which is not even a good god, but still a million times better than Xing 10 in my eyes. And that's just the beginning. Like, look at all the gods' abilities. Look at all the ultimates. Ares, insane ult. Ardio's ult is a fucking stance change, but it's insane. It allows Ardio to have six abilities that are all crazy. Athena's ult, OP. Bacchus ult, high instant damage. Kraken's ult, locks people in a little area, does high damage. Cerberus ult, we already talked about. Fafnir ult, buffs the team. Ganesh ult, puts people in an awkward position where they gotta walk through something that slows them, and if they're trapped on the line, it actually does thousands of fucking damage. Geb ult, one of the best in the game overall for Guardians. Khepri ult, can save somebody instantly. Kumba ult, high damage, high CC, instant. Kazimba ult, knocks people around, CC immune, lasts a long time, and does a decent amount of damage. Sobek ult, gives them protections, mana, does damage, can't be CC'd, lasts a long time. Sylvanas is similar to Geb. Terra we talked about. Even Ymir ult. Well, Ymir is a little bit different because Ymir is like a super high aggressive god, and he's going to be played for super high aggression. It is a god with a slow, a stun, a wall to lock people in, and an ultimate that can do a shit ton of damage while also slowing. Like, Xing 10 doesn't compare to any of them. It just doesn't happen. So for me, my number one first god I would love to see a change and a rework to is a rework on his ultimate at the least. Maybe his ult and his passive. Or if they want to go full into it, just rework the whole fucking god, because overall I don't think his kit is unique. I don't think it's interesting. I don't like it. I don't enjoy playing him. I think he is the I don't want to say worst god. Like, he's the god I want to play the least. Out of all the gods in the game, he is my last god on the list. Whenever someone's like, hey, will you play this? I'm like, no. No, thank you. So, that is number one on my list. Number two is something gonna ruffle some feathers, especially with my community, is Arachne. Arachne overall, you know I play the shit out of Arachne. You know I've played Arachne in SPL games when no one else will play it. I'm widely known for promoting this god and making it work, finding ways to make it work. She overall, she can work. The reason she works is people don't know what to do against her. So as soon as you play it enough and people learn what to do against her, she's not good anymore. So it's more of a surprise factor than a this god is decent factor, because she's not even decent. She's pretty poo-poo. You've got the one, which is actually a very sick ability, because once you fully understand it as a player, someone playing Arachne, you know how much healing you're going to get back, and you know how much damage it's going to do. It's also on a fairly short cooldown at max rank, and I max it first. So it's actually a really nice ability. Like, I like the one. The one is a cool ability. I wouldn't say it's necessarily unique, but it is somewhat unique, and it's been in the game for a long time, so I'm down for that. The two is where we start to have some problems. You have to land 3 basic attacks in a row without hitting anything else in a 6-second window on one target to stun them for 1 to 1.4 seconds. Gives you attack speed for those 3 autos. Great. You get 3 really, really, really fast autos as a melee god. Dope. Crazy. Really cool for like an insta burst. I don't mind the attack speed. That's pretty dope. It would be cooler if it was like 70% attack speed for 3 seconds and my first auto stun, because like almost like that would make sense. Let's just talk about the gods that are in the game now. Pele has a massive circle AoE knockup that does damage. We're just gonna start with Pele. Okay. Massive AoE circle that does damage. Oh, but Arachne's 2, I land 3 autos in a row to stun for 1 second and not hit anything else in that time. Like, between those 3 autos, they all have to go on the same fucking person. I have to be in melee range and I'm hitting 1 person and stunning 1 person. The 2 needs to be looked at drastically. That stun is extremely annoying. It's not impossible to land, especially in lower end games. So if you're in team fights and people aren't bad, it is not an easy thing to do when everyone's trying to make it, when they're collapsing on you, when everyone's trying to make it so you can't get those autos on that 1 person. It's not going to happen. Now, personally, I think it should be a stun on your next auto attack, because that would make fucking sense. Or you can look at it another way, keep the ability the same, except for it does an AoE stun, not too big, say the size of rank 1 Pele knockup, and it stuns everyone in that circle if you can land those 3 autos on one target. I'd be fine with that. But right now, it is probably one of the worst abilities in Smite. It makes the least sense, period. Looking at the 3 is cool, it's unique. You get to play spiders down, you can stack them up, they can clear a camp early game, whenever. It's awesome. Like, it's unique. I'm okay with that. It gives you the movement speed. I'd say the spiders die a little too quick, which is annoying, but they also do a high amount of damage. So I'm okay with it. I'm fine with the web. The ultimate is where we also get into more issues. Your movement speed, dope. CC immune can't be hit, dope. Last 5 seconds, great. High damage, it's there. I mean, you're hitting for like 800 late game if you go a full damage build. Fantastic. But overall, it is not an ability you're using to engage and land on somebody on right away. This god is played, you get in, you do some damage, and you ult. You decide whether you want to chase or you want to disengage. In that time, in those 5 seconds, you can pop your other abilities, which is a nice touch. But realistically, it should do more for the team. It should be more of a team fight ult. Doing 800 damage is necessary. It's a lot of damage, right? But because you're a god with no mobility, you're literally trading a guaranteed I'm stuck in this small area. All I can do is auto attack my way out versus an actual team fight ult. It could have a slow while you're up in the air beneath you. It could slow that would help your team. You could run around and just be annoying, which would be dope. I'd be fine if they took off the scaling, lowered it down to like 30% and added that, because that burst damage is nice. But most of the time, I'm only using it for damage when I already have a free kill or we're already won the fight. Like, I'm not engaging with this 800 damage nuke because it doesn't end up working out in your favor. You get turned on way too easily as this god, and it's frustrating. It is annoying to see other gods have ultimates that do the same damage but hit a much larger area, or do the same damage but you're also extremely safe, or do the same damage but also have more area and slow, and do this CC. Like, just think about like, I'm comparing to Pele because Pele's first thing comes to mind. CC immune ult, does high damage, does extra damage on top of it, has the slow. Great. Let's look. I'm trying to think of teamfight AoE ults. Let's look at Susano's knock up high damage with the suck part of it. It destroys Arachne's ult. Let's look at Mercury ult. Massive line in and out ult that does decent damage and locks people down. Great. Hunbat's ult. Let's not even compare it to that. The only ults that I think are as bad overall as Arachne ult and like lacking the unique aspect and just needing more would be Kali ult. I think Kali ult doesn't do enough. It doesn't do enough damage. Yeah, you can't die for 5 seconds, which is fantastic, but it isn't enough. A little bit more damage is needed. Arachne, another utility factor is needed to make Arachne one of the gods that is actually played, one of the assassins that actually gets played in Smite. Whew, sorry. That's how I feel about Arachne. I felt that way for a long time. I made her work for a while with certain abilities in the game or certain items in the game, but once the items are nerfed, which they always are, it just doesn't work. And I'd rather her just work all the time than need items to work. It's frustrating. So we went over a Guardian. We went over an Assassin. Now we're going to go over a Mage. The Mages are hard to find something on, to be honest, because like you could look at Anubis, but realistically Anubis isn't that bad. It's a pub stomp god. It can be played. It does its job. It's just not great. It's not good. You look at all the other mages, most of them, pretty much all of them can get played. You might come across Hades and think, but Hades just got a buff, and honestly, I think it's going to make him played more. And then we get to Isis. We get to Isis. The one is somewhat similar to Raiden's one, where it's a long fire time. It's like a channeled ability almost. Except for Raiden can be knocked up, Isis can't. Great. And you're a little bit faster on Isis. Great. Cool. You're doing a shit ton of damage, honestly. 115, 40% scaling, 4 times. The one is not the worst thing. It's basically, it was Raiden's ult, or sorry, not ult. Raiden's ability before Raiden was in the game, and it's a little bit better. Then you look at the 2. It's a stun that does 230 damage, but at max range, it's going to do 1.5 times that. So it's going to do half over. It's going to do 115 more damage. It's going to be doing 345 damage with 70% scaling. It can hit really hard. Awesome. But why on earth, for me to do the same amount of damage as every other mage, does it have to be a max range fucking stun that isn't that big? Why is the stun only 1 second long if I do hit this shitty, really long range stun? Why? Why is the stun duration not increased on rank up to like 2 seconds instead of the damage scaling up? That makes no sense to me. That is an easy swap. That is a simple rework. It's not even a full rework. It's literally swapping and actually making sense and getting some value out of ISIS. Then we're going to look at the 3. The 3 is a 20% slow, magical protection debuff. The debuff duration lasts 2.5 seconds and a silence up to 2 seconds. Problem with me is it's not easy to get off. It's not instant right away. So right there, dumb ability. It makes no fucking sense. It's slow is not enough. The protection debuff is enough. The duration is not long enough. The silence is more than long enough. But the fact that it comes out slow bugs the fuck out of me. Up the slow, if it's going to be a annoying ability to land with a smaller radius. The radius is 15. You're like, I always feel like I'm in your face when I do it. It's on a 16-second cooldown. The duration should be longer for the protection debuff. Actual facts. Or overall, you have a high damage mage that is meant to do high early game damage. You have an ultimate that doesn't do instant damage. So why not add maybe another damaging ability? Why not add a utility to your team to coexist with your ultimate, which is essentially something you want to stand still in and not move in and take some damage in? This ability should do just that. This ability should be a defensive ability. It should be an ability that helps your team. Kind of like a Hera shield. You know? Like a Hera shield. like an ability that helps you stay alive while standing still. Like a Hera shield. How on earth can you put a god like Hera in the game and expect a god like Isis to be at all relevant? Where your damage numbers aren't crazy high. Your main CC ability makes no fucking sense. Your ultimate requires you to stand in it and stand still and have the other people be in it to get the max use out of it. And then you have a 3 that is kind of aggressive, but kind of defensive, but realistically doesn't do enough of either to be considered either, and it doesn't help you live, essentially. Doesn't make sense. And overall, I would be fine with a full wipe rework on Isis. Passive is also completely trash, poop, worthless. Or I'd be fine with them changing the passive and the 3. Something has to happen. Isis, I can't stand. I never want to have an Isis on my team. It makes no sense to play that god over a Baron, a Hera, a Posh, an Arachne, a Janus, a Kulkin, a Ra, a Raijin, a Thoth, a Vulcan, a Morgan, a Scylla. Like, there's no, it doesn't even compare. It makes no sense. There's no reason at all for Isis to have the abilities work the way they do, or even have them in general. Period. Next up, this is kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. I've thought about these a lot, but talking about it feels fucking good, man. It really feels good. I would kill for hires to do some of these changes, one of these changes. Next up on the list is gonna be a warrior. I was struggling between 2 warriors. Chalk, because I know you all are going to cry like little bitches if I say Chalk needs to be reworked, because Chalk is the almighty pleb lord god. For some reason, a lot of you guys just love Chalk. I don't know why. I don't agree with it. I never have. It makes no sense. The god has 0 late game, pretty shitty mid game, no real CC. Anti-heal will make it so you can't stand in front of people. Sounds like a great god. Yeah. But then you have Guan Yu. We look at Guan Yu, and he's essentially the only warrior that's a guardian. If you think about it. He's got a protection shred. Dope. He has an Amma ult that does damage. Which is cool. Great. We're gonna just jump over to it. It also slows. So an Amma ult that does more damage. Fantastic. Protection shred out of the 3. Helping your team do damage to somebody. Another slow. And a heal. In my eyes, this is just like a mix of a Cerberus and a Ymir. Guan is a guardian. He's meant to help the team and heal the team. Now, granted, if you get a lead, you're ahead of people, sure, you can kill people, but you can do that on Amma, Ymir, Cerberus. I had a Cerberus support the other day in my games who was soloing me. I was the same level as him. He was 19, I was 19 out of the jungle. We were the highest levels in the game. He was soloing me. There's nothing I could do. Guan Yu is a guardian. Guan Yu makes no sense as a warrior. The kit's not unique at all anymore. They've just added shit that's better on every god. It just makes no sense. I'd be much happier if they put him into a guardian and tweaked his ultimate so it wasn't the same as Ama. Gave him a new ultimate. Give him a fucking horse that everyone could jump on and ride in together. Because right now, overall, there's nothing about his kit that makes me want to play it. There's nothing about his kit that is unique. I mean, essentially, he was first, and he should have been the unique one, but they've just doubled up on all the abilities and made him better on other gods. The protection shred is like the biggest thing I can think of. It literally just reminds me of Cerberus. Except for Cerberus's shit is more annoying. like there's just no reason to play Guan. Anti-heal is too prominent. You're supposed to be a warrior, but it doesn't feel like a warrior. Your laning phase isn't great. The ultimate just isn't doing what you need it to do. It lasts for fucking ever, but realistically, you'd have to be a shit player to just get by an entire Guan Yu ult as one player. Make the ult something different. Swap him to a guardian. Change his 3 completely so there aren't 9 fucking protection shreds in the game out of the guardians. Keep the heal, maybe even up the heal so the healing is actually his main focus. Give his 3 a hard CC instead of a protection. Oh, that was weird. I was just looking at the heal and trying to read the 3. Instead of protection shred, give him a peel. Give him a stun. Give him a harder CC than the double slows, right? Well, obviously the ult stuns at the end of it, but whatever. Give him like a quick, hard CC. Up the heal a little bit. Maybe reduce the damage a little bit. Make him into a true guardian peel. And I'd be happy with that. I can't stand the way Guan is right now. I don't like it. Nothing about it is special. Nothing about it is good. Full rework or do those 2 things. Either one, fine with me. Last up on the list, and it is borderline because I wanted it to be 5 gods, because I feel like there should be more than 5 gods reworked. But I couldn't get to 5. Not easily. Bastet was my other one. It's an assassin. And for me, it comes down to the ultimate. The ultimate can be escaped, can be easily killed, doesn't do enough damage unless they aren't focused or the person has used all their abilities. So if you're a jungler and you want to be an aggressive jungler, you're never going to lead with your ultimate. The cats don't spawn on the person. They spawn in front of you and run to the person that's bleeding or the closest target. So you have an ultimate that is similar to Scotty Dog that dies faster, doesn't have a charge or a dash, doesn't do as much damage, is on a 90-second cooldown because it's an ultimate versus Scotty Dog. Gives you a 20% slow, which is not all that much, and is more of an annoyance than an actual strong ability. There is no doubt in my mind that Bastet's ultimate ability, Catcall, needs to be completely changed to a whole new ability. You've got way too many gods with fucking minions that they're spawning, but minions that they control, to have something like Bastet's ultimate, which are minions you drop on the ground, are controlled by an ability you have to hit on somebody, and you have to hit on one person if you want it to go directly and automatically that one person, unless you're dropping it right on top of them, which means they have no mobility, and it just doesn't have enough play style. It has one direct play style, and it has limited use against every god in the game except for, say, an immobile mage. That's about it. So in my opinion, these are 1000% in my mind the 5 gods that need full reworks or ability reworks, and I would love to see them happen this year. We just have to wait and see what the fuck Iris is thinking. I hope you guys like this video. Please, like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm interested to see what gods, what abilities, what things you want changed, but I'm also interested to see what you think about my ideas. What you personally feel, because I'm sure some of you love Bastet. I'm sure some of you love Arachne, Isis, Xing 10. And I'm saying your gods are shit. That's just the way it is sometimes. So please leave a like. Please leave a subscription. Please subscribe and leave a comment.
Oh, this you crazy mother.